Hi everyone, my name is Phyllis and I'm the owner of Mad Moody Quilting Fabrics. Today we're doing part 1 of the Checker Me Over quilt along. So let's get started. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do, let me just put this away. The first thing we're going to do is do these half square triangles, and we're also going to cut this square, and then we're going to put this 4 patch all together. Okay, so let me switch over to the overhead camera. And I'll just put myself up in the corner so you can see me. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to cut the squares that we need, and it's right sides together. You have your decor fabric and you have your background, and we are going to just cut the square. Now you'll get all the sizes and how many strips and what size strips to cut, and how much you need to cut for subcutting and everything to make all your units with the pattern, which is available as a PDF download on my website. I will put the link down below for you. And so here we are. We've done a cut, and now we need to mark a diagonal line from one corner to the other. And I'm just kind of lining things up. You might have to line that up a couple of times to get to the machine with it. And then you are going to sew on either side 1/4 inch away from that mark line. So I will show you what that looks like. So that looks like, I don't know if you can see the stitching because I'm using white stitches, but it's there. Let me just see if I can get it a little closer. I'm not sure if you, maybe on this side, you kind of can see it on this side. So I have a sewing line here and a sewing line there. So now what we're going to do is we're just going to cut down the on the line. Okay, and then let me just move this over, and let's see if I can just, let me get this out of the way for 2 minutes. Oh, before I do that, we're also going to cut the squares that we need. And I'm going to cut the other way because I'm going to use my ruler in this case as my measuring guide. And there's a reason why, because our cut is 2 3/16. Now, you have on your ruler an 1/8 of an inch line, and a 16th is 1/2 of an 1/8. Okay, so we are doing 2 3/16. So that is halfway past the first 8 line past the 2 inch line. So I hope that makes sense. It might not. I like to line up this edge with one of these dots, these dot lines. And then what I do is I kind of eyeball halfway past this 1/8. There's the 1/4 line there, and there's the 1/8. And we need 3/16. So the first 1/8 is 2/16. The second 1/8, we're only going to grab half of the second 1/8. And that's about there. And then we're just going to cut it. And I eyeball these funny measurements. And then that's it for that. The next thing I want to do is I want to iron. So once all the cutting is done, I'm going to just move this quickly out of the way. We want to iron to the dark side. So let me get my iron. And we just iron to the dark side. Just like that. Okay, we'll just do the other one. And there we go. So they're ironed. Now the next thing we need to do is we need to cut off these little points. We don't need them. Now I've calculated this and given you the measurements, so when you get your 2 triangles out of this, once you've cut apart this, and you get your 2 triangles, they should be at the finished size that you need. And the pattern does have that size. So all you have to do is hand trim off these little ears and get them out of our way. See how easy that is? And then after that, we're going to put our 4 patches together. We need 3 of these, so I'm just going to grab another one. And we need 1 of these. And double check to make sure that you have all your off-whites in the right direction. So that is one way. Then this and this goes together. So basically what you're going to do is you're going to sew these 2 together and these 2 together. Then I like to iron my seam allowance this way and this way. So these 2, once they're sewn together, you're going to put the seam allowance under this fabric, and then this one is going to go the other way, so you can nest those when you sew them together. And then once they're sewn together, this is what you're going to have. And I'm just going to give that another iron. Now the pattern, like I said, has all the numbers that you need to make of half square triangles, how many squares you need, and then how many 4 patches you need to do. All right, so that is it for the 4 patch. That's it for this week, and we will see you next week where we're learning how to do these pieces here, this unit. All right, and I call them bars. So we're going to learn how to do the bars next week. So happy quilting, and I hope to see you next week. Take care. Bye-bye.